Hey everybody, Aaron here. Welcome back to another anime review. Today we look at episode 4 of Alderamin of the Sky. So, last week's episode had Ikta set up on the outer banks of this riverbed. While Toraway's brother was meeting up in a center field area, he now has to go meet Ikta. So, what they're actually looking at is they are looking from one side of this little riverbank. And he thinks, oh, well, if Ikta plans on attacking me, he's going to have to flank me rather than meet me straight on because the water is too deep. Well, Ikta prepared for that. What he did the night prior was cut down a giant tree and made an underwater bridge that they would have only noticed had they actually tested the water itself, how deep it was. And of course, Ikta charges, and Yatari is unfortunately not there because she was ordered by Toraway's brother to go and meet Ikta in the forest. Well, she realized this might happen. She came back quick enough to stop him actually being killed. But it's a forced retreat, and it really pisses off Tori's brother. Like, he goes super insane. He gets pissed off. He decides to set up an ambush, thinking that now what they're going to do is they're going to chase me down rather than anything else. So I will have this little ambush waiting for them. They won't be able to do anything. Meanwhile, Ikta, also preparing for that, has set up a flank unit at the edge of the area of effect of the game itself. So that means that, they have to actually go through that spot to end the game, and if they can't do that, they lose. So now he's forced Tori's brother to go and charge Ikta, but Ikta is also charging, so it's just a giant charge battle that ends with him being killed off by his brother, which, by the way, when I say killed off, not literally, because they're using paintball rounds type things, but Toraway's brother was in a giant tree far away, sniped him essentially, taking out their leader, which is Tori's brother, of course, and causing them just to have to retreat, realizing that this game's over. No matter what, they can't recover from the losses, and by the end of the game, it's going to be that Ikta's side has more or less survived with less casualties, thus them being the winner. Ikta goes on about a giant speech of him going, oh, if you follow me, you won't have to do very much work, because he does make some good points. I won't lie. Ikta's kind of lazy as hell. We know this already. But his points are very, very valid. He talks about how humans are lazy in general. They make wells so they don't have to go to the river. They made certain things in their lives to make it so they don't have to do work. They made plants so they don't have to actually go try to attempt to get live animals. And what's funny about that is, as funny as it sounds and as kind of quirky as this speech was, they start chanting his name, going Ikta, Ikta at the end of it, because he does have some concepts that do make sense. I mean, ironically enough, that is what human beings do best. We make, things that make our lives simpler, not harder for the most part. That's would be reverse technology. So realistically, he's right in many ways. We've done this since the beginning of time when we realize what makes things work easier for us, so we have to do less work. It sounds silly when he says it, but then you think about it and you go, oh, that makes a lot of sense. Holy crap. Now, meanwhile, the princess is in kind of a dire strait. She runs into a small little forest area because she was told that Ikta apparently was hurt. When she gets there, Ikta's not anywhere in sight, and her troops are actually killed all at once by someone in an assailant. And we learn that it's one of her guardsmen that set this up to get her and to kidnap her, and they put a chloroform on her. Now, Ikta's unit friend tells him, hey, I think it was Toraway actually that told him this. He goes, hey, I saw that princess when I was in the forest in my sniper nest. She was running to the west for some reason, though. I don't know why she was going there. Isn't the game ending east? And he realizes something's amiss. So he sounds off a noise of some sort, and Yatari, who's in the distance, hears this and realizes, oh, the princess is in the west, meaning that something is going, amiss. So she goes off taking a small group with her, and they actually stop the guy, and he explains why he did it. You remember the leader that died several episodes ago, where he was one of the Ikta's was trying to stop the guy from going off into a battle, and he said, if you go into this battle, you're gonna die. And the guy goes, yeah, and I realize maybe that might happen, but I'm gonna be all right, nothing will happen. And he does, unfortunately die. Well, this captain who actually kidnapped the princess was one of his students, and he was really just pissed off and worked up by that. So he's doing this for revenge, essentially to avenge his teacher, but this is revenge in many ways. Now, Yatsuri, though, is not having this. She takes him down. Thankfully, Toraway is actually in the background shooting the guy and knocks him out. Yatsuri kicks ass, slashes all these guys up with like such simplicity. But then we see something very interesting that we haven't seen from Yatsuri so far. She stops and she realizes that she can't hear anything. Or more so, she can only hear her inner thoughts, and she can't let go of her swords. She's covered in blood. Luckily, Ikta comes in and goes, "Hey, you know what? Relax. Don't worry. I'm not going to be able to eat tomatoes for a long time. I see all this red everywhere. It's unsettling." He's trying to calm her down. That's why the jokes is coming in tomatoes and stuff like that. I mean, it's blood, but it helps her calm down. And we see a flashback, which I wanted to mention really fast, where it seems like Ikta and, Yatsuri were really deep close. And he says that he was her left hand, apparently. I don't know what that, signifies, but I'm sure we'll learn about that as the series progresses. But he's able to calm her down. And the princess also is calmed down at one point. I mean, even though she calls Soloric an idiot, she starts hitting Ikta and, calling her Baka over and over again. The episode ends with that. So we do learn, though, that, hey, the Inner Kingdom does have its fair share of people that want the princess out of the way. Is this the only small group that exists that want this? That's a big question of the day. I mean, this could just be an isolated incident. That's very possible. But I'm very curious if anyone else is going to try something like this. Anyways, guys and girls, very interesting episode. I will say, to be honest with you, first part of it seemed very relevant. I mean, it was, for the mock battle game and all that. But the kind of last part of it, the last actual section of it, seemed like it was filler. I don't know why. It just seemed filler. Was this really per se necessary? Was this unnecessary? I mean, I get in many ways why it could be necessary, and I'm not trying to say it's completely filler. I don't think this episode's filler, mind you. But I'm just saying it feels like at the end filler. I don't know why. That just might be me personally. I don't know. But I'm just curious. Does anyone else agree with me? And what are your thoughts on the show so far? I'm very curious. I mean, I love the show so far. I think this is definitely one of the shows of the season for me. And it's funny. The first episode did not hook me either, which is interesting. But then the episodes after, I've been hooked. I mean, this show is awesome, to me at least. Anyways, guys and girls, I am done with this review. I will talk to you later. As always, hit the like button, subscribe button, share button. You know the whole nine. Bye-bye, everyone.